computer.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, hello.
Okay. We might have to start all over again because we said it. So who should talk first? I think we have to start all over again because we kind of messed up. Hello, my name is Maya the Shaman, and I'm the host for Galactic Goddess TV. And we have a very special guest, Ame Johnson. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so tell me about what you're doing. You're a teacher, and you are founding this SADVIPRA International. And I would like to know, what is the meaning of SADVIPRA? You're from Maharlika, by the way, and so that is not a Maharlikan word. So tell us about SADVIPRA, what it means.
It's a terminology that's Sanskrit, the mother of all languages. And there are two words in it, sad, vipra. Sad is generally understood as true or real, genuine, and vipra, intellectual, with the intellectual power, with the intelligence, the knowing of what is righteous and what is not righteous.
Oh, this is so beautiful. So in terms of your vision and your mission in creating SADVIPRA International, what is your creativity that made you want to be leading SADVIPRA International? I know that you are a singer, a composer, a poet, and you have all these wonderful qualities. So tell me your
And,
passion.
and food wise, I like to be in the kitchen too.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, so the last word of it is international. It's because I envision that people who are Sadvipras in different parts and corners of the world would contribute, would help in materializing the calling for being a Sadvipra and making others Sadvipra, like the Sadvipra itself. So,
Okay.
a true intellectual. A Sadvipra first has to be what they call it a Kshatriya, meaning like one who has the anti exploitation sentiment, who has the moral courage, the integrity to try and eliminate what is disturbing the humanity. That Sadvipra would like to eliminate suffering of humanity in any part or corner of the world, right? And also that Sadvipra will be established in the do's and don'ts, the righteous conduct. People will recognize who is a Sadvipra because of the person's demeanor, righteous conduct,
Mhm.
and the dedication to selfless service. They never are shy of wanting to do something for others selflessly, and
Mhm.
especially to the suffering humanity. And they are dutiful. They You don't need to ask them to do this because it it is within their minds that if they are supposed to do, they are going to do, and the call is from their inner self, spirit, the spiritual self. And they, as I said and mentioned before, that they have the moral fortitude. They will not cower to uh, you know, falsehood and corruption and all that. So Asad Vipra is a product of a long process of purification, a long process of experience. So it doesn't probably only happen in this lifetime, in other lifetimes too. It is built up. It is built up. So Asad Vipra, you can say, is close to the ideal person that one can look up to as a role model. In general, the society is divided or classified into mental colors. One is the black color, the bread and butter psychology. They call it Shudra in Sanskrit. The other one is Kshatriya, has a red color. They are like fighters. They will not compromise with the safety of their loved ones and of their environment, of their you know local community. And
Okay, so we're
I got
talking about
I got cut
that
off
there is
for a minute.
it's,
Yeah.
it's okay,
Yeah.
but
And I,
okay, so
I would like to enumerate special points that is of the SADVIPRA. The SADVIPRA represents the genuine aspirations of the people. The people love a SADVIPRA. And they are established in moralities, I've said, and they are intellectually, not only intellectually, but intuitionally developed. Intuition means the mind of the Sadvipra is connected with the inner spirit, with the inner self, with the universe, really. So it's not in embroiled with his own ego. He's able to go beyond and break the limitations of the me. And it does not engage in intellectual extravaganza. It doesn't want to waste time in the extravaganza of intellectual, discussions, unless it is useful for the well-being of the majority. They work for all countries of the world, for the people's all-round liberation and well-being. Not only for human beings, but also what we call in neo-humanistic feelings, also for the plant world, the environment, the soil, the land, and the animals, because they are compassionate. Their hearts are based on compassion and kindness, etc., etc. They will not give importance to points of differences amongst men, but will continuously aspire to encourage the common bonds of unity and thus strengthen humanity. Those are established in the code of conduct. They are the genuine Sadvipras. And not only that they are established in the righteous conduct, they are also imbued with a cosmic feeling, cosmic ideation. And they see everyone as their very own, meaning like we only have one source, one origin, and we are all in this together. We're all brothers and sisters. Not only me, but anyone that is part of this creation. So Sadvipra is like an older brother or an older sister, but not passive, active.
beautiful.
And one is more
Wow,
important
okay.
thing is discipline. Sadipra is discipline and laser focused.
Mhm.
And
Wonderful.
there are some points that I wanted to mention that the Sadvipra would shy away from dogma centered philosophy. Like,
Mhm.
dogma centered means you can only see this much, the mind is narrow. Matter centered philosophy, wherein the mind is enslaved with the attraction of so much material things. Yes, it is okay to have material things, but controlled, regulated conduct in regards to material things. And then it would not encourage selfish, self centered philosophies. It is more like it will support more Godward philosophies or uh, universal or an all-embracing philosophy.
Wow, this is very, very profound. It's beautiful. That would
Yeah.
be an ideal society and a futuristic one, as I could see. So, what are the practical ways on how you see this applied? For example, when it comes to animals.
Animals. Yeah. First thing is who are suffering most? The one in the street. So if you're a Sadvipra, I think you would naturally feel the suffering or the pain of the street animal. You would find a way that you can help that animal, feed the animal or save the animal, bring the animal to a shelter or to someone who wants the animal. So it is prevention of cruelty to animals, not only killing the animals for food, but animals that are, not having someone to take care of. They're beings.
Okay, I know that you're a vegetarian and you're also passionate about raw foods. So this is fascinating for me. So why are you advocating? Is this a part of your advocating being a vegetarian?
You know,
Because
yeah.
it
Being a SADVIPRA, one has to be an all round healthy, because you cannot continue in the next 10 to 20 years or 30 years to do something for the society. So I think the best diet would be more fruits and vegetables. Nowadays in the school, it is accepted that the children would eat 3 vegetables a day and 2 fruits. And it's really from young, they are being made aware that the fruits and vegetables are the most friendly one, instead of the killing the animals, and the animals have to go through so much suffering. They scream and all that. Nobody wants to give their life, so like that. So we should not, we should prevent and avoid causing pain to the animals for food, because there's plenty of food that's available there. And by the way,
very
yeah, so you were asking me about how we're gonna go about it. There's 2 phases for it. There's 2 steps. One phase. The first phase is uh, networking and education and understanding how I can become a Sadvipra. And once we understand that you are working towards becoming a Sadvipra, a true intellectual, then we will try and help and make others Sadvipra, because the Sadvipra leadership from the local up to the world, countries, is very much needed. There is a need for good leadership who are based on righteousness and cosmic vision, and then compassion, love, and kindness. So, in an ordinary terminology, a Sadvipra is he who is kind, who is dutiful, who is compassionate, and who is disciplined, and who is persistent also. To be persistent, you have to be healthy. Your nerves have to be strong. So you cannot neglect other aspects of your personal care, for your self care. So
Mhm.
there are so many things that nowadays the people understand that they can do to make themselves mentally strong, and then spiritually elevated, right? And
Mhm.
then the
Yeah.
second phase, yeah, and the second phase is to launch different projects what are positive. It's opposite of what is exploiting, what is causing the suffering of people. So create projects that are positive, that will just multiply, because it is, it becomes viral, because it is common sense, something good that you should be doing. Like you mentioned to me, I think, about the plastics. We are,
Yes, I am very, very much I'm passionate about the environment, and I know that there's a problem now with dumping garbage into the ocean. Like
yeah.
plastics are being eaten up by, you know, by sea creatures, and then they die
Correct.
from it. So we're destroying our ecology. And so, yes, I mentioned that because that's my passion. So, yeah, you and I have talked about innovation as well.
Yes.
And this is a part, the creative aspect of SADVIPRA. So yes, we would like to invite also people who are scientists and innovative, who have capacity, to be able to help the environment, right?
Yeah, really is the awakening of the right and wrong in the mind, and the what you call this, the persistence of that in relation to the world. So it's really common sense. You are a Sadvipra if you are morally uh, uh, established and spiritually developed. or trying to be spiritually developed, you
Mhm.
are uh, you are going to do something for what you call this, for humanity. And this is the networking is very important for everyone to come together. So I would like to invite everyone to probably, those who are open to it would participate in a Zoom link and in a chat group, and then eventually we can all have a conference or a forum, physical forum that we can congregate, and we may have to do it country by
Yes.
country. And I put international because
Mhm.
I want that everyone will be involved, because this world is, the humanity is one and indivisible. We cannot divide. We cannot see a suffering of one country and your country is, developing and enjoying, but the other countries are so compromised, unexploited.
Mhm.
So that's why it's a calling for
Yes.
all the international awakening. The Sadvipra
This
is,
is beautiful.
yeah, the Sadvipra is actually was introduced and is uh, propounded by my spiritual guide, is P.R. Sarkar, and he is known as Sri Sri Anandamurti. And only all the homage and the thankfulness goes to him. I'm just a
Mhm.
channel.
Okay, so how can people contact you if they're interested? You have an email, and is that how people
Yeah,
can reach you?
for now, they can call me. I mean, they can email me at AMEJOHN, as in Amy Johnson, and the number one at gmail.com. And of
Okay,
course, they can
so we'll
call me
put
at,
that.
yeah, they can request for a telephone, and I can send them back my telephone number if they wanted to speak personally. But I'm really hoping that people will come forward, because I am
Mm-hmm.
sure we have the same concerns for this planet of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Before going to the planet Moon, before going to the Moon or the Mars.
Yes, exactly. We got to take care of planet Earth first.
Yeah,
Now, there's one more important thing that you mentioned to me. You're a teacher, a school teacher, and the little people have no voice. And so that stood out to me when you were talking about the little people. So tell me a little bit about what your concerns are.
yeah. Prevention of cruelty to little people. They are totally helpless. They're totally helpless when they are in the presence of an adult, any adult, whether in the home or in the school. So there is a thing called hertz. There's a certain amount of volume, zero volume, one level, second level, three level. When you speak to a child, the adult, whether a teacher or an older brother or a mother or a father, they must be very, very mindful that the child is totally dependent on your behavior, and they copy and they mimic and they will repeat that what they see amongst the adults. So the adult should be soft spoken. Of course, you will implement discipline, but there is the human psychology. Before anything else, be humane first. Human psychology should not go beyond human psychology, your actions. So an adult, a teacher, or anyone that is, an older person should not compromise the mind of a child, especially between the age of, pre-K, K, up to when they are up to 7 years old, 10 years old, even up to age 13, 14. They are still developing. 65% of the personality is built in the first few years of life. And you don't want to destroy that mind that is growing in the subconscious. When a child is bullied, you know, by an adult, just with a voice, with the way you treat the child, that is a trauma already in the mind, and that's when we get problems in the society too. When they result in being bullied, they result in so many things. They might take their life, they might, attack someone, they might use all sorts of stuff that will hurt others. So I feel like there should be a movement wherein we discuss locally in the community that we should be careful how to deal with children, not to show a bad example. And it's very common sense. And
Mhm.
I learned from my teacher, from my spiritual guide, that there are four approaches in dealing with a situation. First is love. If you are knowledgeable, if you are able to convince a child or an individual with the means of love, do it. Of course, if it doesn't work, then you may use intellect, show the reasoning. This is the better way to do it. The rational, the what is the consequence if you continue with this type of behavior. But then if it doesn't work, then you can kind of use a threat, like, okay, we'll bring you to a certain place, or a timeout. We don't use timeout anymore. Nap time. Or bring you the principal in the scenario of the school. But then after that, then probably you will have to contain the child. But there needs to be a work on that to protect the little people. you know any mother would have her heart broken if the child is exposed to such almost abuse. Yeah.
Totally agree with you. I am a shaman healer, and even adults still needs healing tremendously because of the trauma that they have encountered, through their childhood. So I totally, totally hear what you're saying. And this is a very important part in order to grow a healthy human. Let's start with children, right? And this is like that fascinated me with what you have shared with me about protecting little people. I love that. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I may interject, if you don't mind. And the adults also need to work on their nerves. They have to work on their nerves, because most of the time when you lose your temper, it's because the nerves are not controlled, they're not regulated. So the mind is not regulated. You need to do, ideally it would be good to do some yoga stretches, work out, sports, and release your mind from stress, actually. And a lot
Mhm.
of the situation comes from the stress of the economic conditions, the behavioral conditions of the home, different types of situations which propel the parent to
Mhm.
lose the balance in dealing with their children, or hopefully not the educators, but probably the educators would also have their pressure. But the adult
Yeah.
has to control. They are the first person who is called into controlling the nerves.
Yes. Okay. So in terms of our futuristic vision here, I know that you're talking also about, you know, limiting time to work. Well, hopefully through our new technology that's coming in, through
AI.
hopefully positive AI, things will start moving towards a better future for us. But why is it essential that humans take time to do this various type of, I would say, higher learning that you were talking
Yeah.
about? Explain it to me.
Yeah, I would like to mention the a talk that my spiritual guide gave, and he mentioned about that means four dimensional economy. And in this quadridimensional economy, there are four aspects: people's economy, psycho economy, general economy, and commercial economy. And this aspect of reducing working hours belong to the psycho economy. Why? Because really, if you think about it, if you're exhausted after a 7 hour or 8 hour work, and even not only 8 hour, people do overtime, where is the time for you to respect your psychic potentials, your spiritual needs. If you're only like, I need to earn a living, and then when the moment I reach home, I'm dead tired, and again the next day you're working and working and working. There is a call for a balance of life. You're a body, you're a mind, and you're a spirit. When you balance your desarrollo, you can say development, self-care, in your physical, in your mental, and in your spiritual, you need some time, and just not a little time, but really enough time, because life is short too. How long do you intend to stay in this world? We're like riding on a train, and the moment we reach the destination, we have to get off from the train. So we must spend time in the aesthetics. And what are the aesthetics? Arts, painting, music, literature, sports, etc., etc. That is not just physical, but it goes and develop your mind. And then when you mind is it's not enough to do things for the mind, then you have to go and try to touch the golden layer of consciousness, pure consciousness, the spirit. So you might have to decide, oh, I need to just close my eyes and ponder and connect myself with my soul, my spiritual being. You know, I do not believe that it's enough to pray, because praying is like, okay, thank you, Lord, or may I hope that I will this. But surrender is the essence of mental connection with God, with the meditation and all that. That is a proposal. But for the Sadvipras, they know what it is.
Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, so we have covered a lot of things today, and this is so positive and so healing for the world to hear that there will be a group or groups of people that are encouraging to create a very healthy society for us.
Yeah, if you don't mind my mentioning, somebody mentioned to me that elected officials should be saints. Elected officials, maybe not necessarily saints, but they should be morally established, and they should have morality, and they should have a spiritual touch.
Totally.
Yeah, right.
It, it's very important
Maturity,
because
spiritual maturity, yes.
yes, we have to have compassion in this world, and if selfishness becomes, a center, becomes self-centered, human beings,
Yeah.
that will not be a healthy society,
Yes, when you
you
are
know.
a servant of the public, you have to go beyond your ego, and you have to be based on what is the aspirations of your constituents, of the people who are there. So it's a sacrifice to be an elected official, but be a real elected official, true to your calling for that leadership. Does it make sense?
Oh, definitely. Authenticity is a number one quality
Yeah,
of a good leader,
yeah,
because through authenticity, one is able to really project the inner calling of the divine. It would be wonderful to have, a society that's based on higher qualities, based on morality, based on, what our purpose as human beings are supposed to be. We are supposed to be the guardians of this Eden earth, and so taking care of the animals, taking care of plants and the land, the ecology, and people, as you have said already. So yeah, thank you so much.
yeah. And if I may mention the terminology called neo-humanism, which is humanism newly explained. And it's really a simple thing. It means the interconnectedness of all beings. The plants are beings, animals are beings, human beings. If you feel the interconnectedness with them, there is no really reason for you to cause pain to them and suffering, when you can, if you can avoid it, right?
Yes.
As a dictum would say, I would like to be treated as the way I would like to treat others, the way I want to be treated. So, so if I don't want to be hurt, I don't want somebody to be unkind to me, or rough with me, or unpsychological with me. I don't want to be unpsychological to a person. I want to be giving. I want to be compassionate. I want to be magnanimous, right? So what you
Yeah.
want others to do to you, you should do to others. It's just common sense. It's common sense. The golden rule, right? It's a golden rule.
Yes, absolutely. Next time.
Yes.